Well, hey there, and welcome to week 9, the final week of understanding Revelation. We've been reading through all of Revelation and we've reached the end. So good work if you've been coming through all along. And if this is the first video you're watching, you can jump back to the beginning or just dive in this week and see the end of Revelation because it's a wonderful place to start as well. And in this week, we're going to be reading Revelation 21 and 22, the last two chapters of Revelation. And this is a beautiful picture of the new heavens and the new earth. And as always, we're looking in this study at how are the different ways to interpret it? What are the different points of view? And broadly, there are two different kind of ways of reading this section of the Bible. The first is the literalist, to look at this as being very literal description of future events. The second is a non-literal approach, a non-literalist approach, and to see this as being more symbolic or spiritualized. And what we'll be doing Friday is exploring the pros and cons of both positions. But in the meantime, as you read it through, the thing I would encourage you to do is to read this for a message of hope of God's future promise. That you read this and you see a beautiful picture of what God has in store. And honestly, whether it's a literal event or a symbol, what is it a symbol of? In any case, it's talking about God's new creation. And so with a book that has been so full of kind of judgments and warnings, it's nice to really savor the promise and the hope that's found here. It's hope that would have been so encouraging to first century Christians in the midst of persecution, and I think can be equally encouraging to us today in the midst of our lives to read this and to see this kind of what is in front of us, what is in store. And so, I think, as we read this happy, excited, jubilant portion of Revelation, we can tap into some of that joy ourselves at the joy of what is ahead in God's new creation. So we'll be reading that this Wednesday. I'm going to be reading through chapter 21 probably and doing a study with me. You're welcome to join me. And then an in-depth study on Friday. So there you go. That's the challenge for the week. And we'll see you as we continue to study Revelation and close out this study.